There are moments when life humbles you so deeply that confidence feels difficult to recover.
Hello, my name is Lucy Macridis, and I am voiced by Lucy, your go-to voice for impactful storytelling and dynamic delivery.
Hi, I'm Lucy, your clarity coach, and this is Tuesday Talks at 3. I welcome you to the Bounce Back Rise Higher series, and this is episode 4, where we're looking at rebuilding confidence after a fall. And like I said earlier, there are moments that life humbles you, and you just feel you're not able to get back your confidence, shall I say, your confidence groove back. So let us look at answering the question, what has prepared you for this season that you're in? Take a moment and just think about that, because you're in a different season than you were if it is last month, last week, or last year, or the last 10 years, depending how long the season is of whatever thing that you're thinking about that comes to mind right now. What lesson prepared you for this season? It is my hope that it is a lesson from a fall that you have had. And when I talk about a fall, I talk about a setback. I talk about a failure, something that you perceived did not go right. And at times it gets very deep and it triggers a lot of things, but it's important that we reflect on this. But right now we're talking about the confidence and the fall. So the question is then, why does confidence affect us so deeply when it comes to this fall or this setback or this failure? Well, in a simple way, it's because of disappointment. We had set standards for ourselves, or if we did not, other people set standards for ourselves, and we did not rise to those standards. Or so we think at that point. And so we are disappointed. And disappointment can really just be that little thing that opens up a trap door and you just fall through. And being able to build back your confidence is a challenge for you. And so when we look at the impact of setbacks, failures, and confidence, we see there's a correlation. When you allow one setback, one failure to define you, that is what works against building up your confidence. You've heard of those people, maybe it's even you, where you or they keep on repeating about that one thing that they did wrong, and not from a point of growth, from a point of that is why I am the way I am. There are those people who coin those sentences, and I'm hoping that it's not you. And if it is you, that today is a good day for you to start reframing what you're saying about yourself. So the next time when you are speaking to somebody and we are sharing the reasons why where we are where we are, I beg your pardon, you are able to say, I had a setback a while ago, and this is the lesson that I learned. And today, my confidence comes from knowing that I will have another setback. But there's all this opportunity of growth. And so I'm applying this. I'm intentional about this one lesson that I learned. I was taking a group of leaders through a program, which I call the Time Management Capsule. And time is one of the things where leaders in this group felt that they had failed and they continue failing. They couldn't seem to have a grasp over time. They couldn't seem to be able to understand how to get ahead of it. And therefore, they defined themselves by that one thing where there was lack of time management. And yet they had all these other skills of leadership that they were not focusing on. They were focusing on the one thing that they couldn't get right. I mean, that is the reason why they came to me for this session. But that's one of the things that I started working on to allow them, introducing them in a way to reframe. So when they allowed themselves to get into that space, it started to open up things for them. They started to see things differently. And one of the things that they discovered was that they do not need to be the cleverest person in the room knowing everything. They need to look at their teams. If this is a weakness for them, time management, they needed to know who in their team had it as a strength and therefore lean into it. And that is what leadership is, leading others. In fact, what you're doing is leading from the back. You're pushing forward people to be able to step into their strengths. And if they know any weaknesses, to lean into somebody else who has got that as a strength. So allowing one failure to define your future potential then automatically dissipates. It disappears when you begin to realize that I am not defined by my failures. In fact, if anything at all, I grow from them. So being able to rebuild confidence after that failure is all dependent on you and what you do with it. Because you and I both know you will fail. If not by the end of today, you're going to fail at some point. What do you do with that situation? And what you do with it is dependent on you. Only you have that control. So once you are able to regain that confidence, I encourage you then to return with much wisdom. And what do I mean by wisdom? Now you start packing around that one aspect that you have learned, things that are going to help you stay on top of it. I've talked about the village already. It's wisdom for you to know what your capacity is and allow somebody else to lead. And you know, when somebody else is leading, it releases that pressure from you to be the one who's on 24/7, and allowing somebody else to lead allows you to concentrate on other things. So I'm speaking to you as a leader out there right now. How do you return with greater wisdom? You now realize that you're not alone. Team does not have I in it. There's a group of you. And as a team, we're all driven by the same objective. So how are you then going to be able to move forward? Focus on growth. Focus on growth and not perfection. It's a personal experience for me. As a recovering perfectionist, nowadays I'm into excellence, but I'm aware as a recovering perfectionist that I tend to want to do things on my own because I know how. That I don't have to depend on somebody else's timelines and somebody else's moods and somebody else's schedules that are going to delay me. I'm big on time. But now with wisdom, I realize the patience, the humility, the persistence that I talk about in the other episodes are key so that we can move forward. And when I concentrate on growth and not perfection, everybody wins because we are learning from one another. So starting again with experience instead of fear is one thing that I encourage you to do. So confidence built through resilience will take you far. Starting again without fear will take you far. Resilience is not about never failing. Resilience is building that strength so that you can come back stronger than the last season. Let us help build one another. And until episode 5, be kind to yourself.